Yes, it is the Fresh Power Play powered by BFL with me, Pamela, and we have two special guests. Nobody needs any introduction. One is Danny Morrison and the very beautiful Amreen. So Danny, the first thing I'm going to ask you, Evan Lewis, you have to describe his innings in your style.
Really? They are simply sensational. This guy knows how to find the boundary, hits it over or two very easy.
Oh, he said it all. He covered it all. Evan Lewis, what he had for breakfast, because that was some innings. 101, which has never happened in the history of BPL. What did he do right?
Yeah, on this ground, as you say, it hasn't been done before. I think he just backed himself. He simply believed, as he said in the post-match presentation, that he wanted to go out there and put an innings of substance together. Good pitch to play on, and I think at night it sort of sped up a little bit, the dew factor, not as much dew as yesterday. And I think people, as captain said, Momadula, we know of his reputation. We know he can smash the ball over the fence a long way. So, yeah, I think that's what happens. When you get into a groove, and with his partner, Ronnie, they put on 127. I think their best previously was about 47. So that sort of inspires your partner, and you both feed off each other. So, yeah, very pleased for the West Indian because he has got a lot of talent.
We'll talk about that, but first we need to take a look at the fantastic innings of Lewis. But before that, you said something about the West Indians. What's with the West Indians? We'll get there. Ronnie and Lewis, they put up a fantastic innings.
Yeah, look, I just think when you look at it, I just mentioned a moment ago, their best was 47 as an opening stand. So Ronnie came in and now opened with Lewis. They put on 127 for the first wicket. And when you're doing that, chasing with 159, 160, it makes life a bit easier when one of your top three can either get 100 or get close to it. So it didn't matter who was bowling. You were going to disappear when you get a guy in that sort of move.
And that's what Sangha also mentioned, that when you have somebody like Evan playing an exceptional innings, you really can't do much about it.
Well, look at Ryan Tenduscarter, who, 2 overs for 38. 1 over went for 27. So when you look at that, it doesn't matter who's bowling. Tenduscarter is a very good T20 player, huge amount of experience, like 240 old games. He disappeared here tonight because he got it slightly too short. When you just don't quite get your length right, and you give a guy width, and he's so powerful square of the wicket, using the pace of the bowler, and then there, searching length, starts to see the ball picking it up, and really, if you don't quite get it right on these pitches, you're going to disappear. They either sit up and say, hit me please, or we saw 2 nights ago that the ball did skid on quite comfortably. Had to work a bit harder here, I believe, tonight, because it was a little bit slower, a little bit more grippy, so he played very well though.
What should Dhaka Dynamite do to actually enhance their bowling squad?
They went with the batting. At the toss there, Sangakkara wanted to stack the batting and dominate more with that and try and get a big score. You've got to get a balance right because, as we were saying on air in Game 1 today, match 15, you've got to have your all-rounders. So you've got to get that balance right. And it's about knowing when to bowl a guy at the right any given time. So, again, captains thinking on their feet. Spinners for this pitch were brought in a lot today and even this evening. Get the spinners on early to take pace off the ball. So, again, you've got to have those 2-for-1 players. All-rounders are so key.
So we need to take a look at the high scorers of these BPL.
Yeah, funny enough, it's Evan Lewis. 101 not out of 65. Sangers, he's been there. He's actually enjoying himself here at this 3rd edition of the Bangladesh Premier League. But they're the highest scores so far in the tournament. There hadn't been 100 scored on this ground, let alone 100 scored in this 3rd edition. So Sangers was the top score the other evening, 75. Samuels, he's always up there. Tamim, 69 there. So very impressive, Evan Lewis from the Caribbean.
What's with West Indians and T20? They're also good at it.
Yeah, I was saying that stat we gave you, that there's been 800s scored in the Bangladesh Premier League in its history, in recent history of course, not that much. It's only the third edition, and 5 of them have come from West Indian. 3 from Gale, 1 from Dwayne Smith, and now you've got 1 from Evan Lewis. They suit the style of play, this form of the game, where you've got to go big early, and if you slightly get it wrong, they are flat track bullies.
The opening partnership which really helped Evan to score what he scored tonight. So I think we'll take a look at that.
Please. Well, don't forget about Ronnie, because he played his part too. In fact, he went quite early, and they both fed off each other. Both boundary hitters, and a couple of loose deliveries. The other thing I like about this, Pamela, is that you've got a left-hander and a right-hander opening the batting. So you've got the right-handedness of Ronnie, and then you've got the left-handedness of Lewis. So the bowlers have to adjust, and if they're slightly off, and it's their night, and they get some confidence early, then watch out. You know, little bits of nice deft touch, little glides, and then some big boom boom bashing stuff down the ground. And it's not the smallest boundary in the world, I can tell you. That's fair hitting, fair striking from Lewis against Tendusgarda. Kept making him disappear, didn't he? So hard to set fields when a guy is in that sort of mood.
Ryan had quite an over in that one.
No, not a night to remember for life. Could be in tears.
I'm sure.
Let me tell you one thing, Pam.
Yes, of course. I think Chittagong audience plays a huge role.
It's all about entertainment, right?
Yes.
And Evan, his performance was full of cricketertainment for the Chittagongians and
Yes.
of course for all the cricket lovers. But we have got something else to show to our Channel 9 viewers, and that's not me, that's Danny.
Oh.
Danny, show your lizard famous face to our
Dear. Well, we handed the toss because I didn't know whether that coin was real, so I had to test it and give it the old. Yes, test it.
Did it taste good?
Oh, lovely. Yeah.
But I think but I definitely reckon that Evan Lewis, the 101 which he scored, Chittagong had a huge role to play in it, because the way the audience was cheering, the audience was there with him throughout the nervous 90.
supporting him.
But throughout the nervous 90, mind you, our commentators also, they were like...
And look, and being real for a moment, serious, when you have these T20 leagues in this part of the world, where it's the Indian Premier League, where it's the Bangladesh Premier League, the Sri Lankans had a league a few years ago, it doesn't matter. If it's an overseas player, if it's a local player from another franchise, because it wasn't Chittagong Vikings playing, look how much the crowd stayed behind. They wanted to see Sangakkara. They didn't know much about this guy, Evan Lewis. And you've got some superstars out there for match 16. And it's a real credit, I think, to the Chittagong fans to have
Incredible.
Bangladesh Premier League back on this part of the world. So they stayed behind, and weren't they treated to some wonderful striking?
Yes.